All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Aaron Ayers here in the Storm Team Weather Center, and we're going to take a look at what we can expect overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. It is Monday, October the 26th here in the Concho Valley, and we've got some winter weather that is coming to our area. So let's break it down and talk about what's coming our way for us here in the Concho Valley. All right, here's what we're looking at. Winter weather tonight, expected tonight. We're looking at the possibility of some freezing rain, possibly some sleet mixing in some of our areas. And there could be some travel impacts as we go into Tuesday morning. So don't be surprised if you wake up and find some icy roads on Tuesday morning, especially early in the morning here in the Concho Valley. Let's take a look at the winter weather alerts that are active right now. We've got winter storm warnings for Sterling County and for Coke County. That includes Sterling City and Robert Lee. Those are the counties in pinks here. We've got winter weather advisories for the counties in purple. That's Crockett, Irion, Tom Green, Concho, and Runnels County. That includes Ozona, Mertzen, San Angelo, Eden, and Ballinger. I wouldn't be surprised if we get more weather alerts as we go through the rest of the evening. Let's get right to our current temperatures across the Lone Star State. Temperatures are in the 20s up in Amarillo, 25 in Lubbock, 33 in Midland, 36 here in San Angelo, 33 in Abilene. They're really flirting with that freezing degree mark there in Abilene. Wichita Falls right at it at 32 degrees. Laredo at 84 with Brownsville at 88. What a divide. We've got summer in the south and we've got winter in the north part of the state here across the entire Lone Star State. So a great temperature divide there. Current temperatures here in the Concho Valley, some of us already falling to freezing. Sterling City at 32 degrees right now, 35 in Grape Creek, 36 here in San Angelo, and we can just expect that temperature to continue to go down for us. 30s for much of the Concho Valley, with the exception of Roosevelt and Junction at 42 and 40 in Roosevelt, 40 in London. So expecting temperatures to drop as we go through the rest of the evening. Here's a look at our live winter vision radar across the Concho Valley. Not seeing winter weather in much of the Concho Valley right now. We've got a little bit of a break here before stuff starts to move in later tonight into tomorrow morning. So we're going to have to watch this closely. We're going to have to watch our winter vision radar very closely over the hours to come. Some light showers. We've seen that misty rain, light rain showers throughout the day here in portions of Tom Green County and even into portions of Concho County over towards Eden. So seeing some of those now as we go through time. Here's our winter storm tracker. Let's track this out as we go towards 10:30 tonight. Notice some precipitation already starting to change over for some of our northern counties in the Concho Valley here, including San Angelo. We're getting very close by 10:30, getting very close to that freezing degree mark. We may even see some of those ice pellets start to mix in with some of the rain as we go towards tonight. Into the overnight hours into Tuesday morning, temperatures here in San Angelo getting down to freezing. So at that point, we're probably talking about freezing rain here, and we've got to watch things like elevated roadways, the loop, and bridges. You gotta watch those for icing over tonight into tomorrow morning. This doesn't stop tomorrow morning. In fact, more bands of moisture come into the Concho Valley, and we're talking about freezing rain for a good chunk of the northern half of the Concho Valley here as we go into Tuesday morning. As we go to Tuesday at lunchtime, this model is still indicating that we could still be seeing freezing rain through the lunch hour on Tuesday afternoon. It's not till Tuesday afternoon that things start to warm back up again, barely warm back up again, and we get that transition, slowly transitioning back over to a cold rain as we go through Tuesday evening. And then by Wednesday, this whole system shifts off to the east. Temperatures start to warm and we start to clear out by Wednesday evening, so that's some good news. Let's talk about precipitation types and what that means for us here in the Concho Valley. Here's a little setup of the atmosphere for us, and this is a little diagram where you can see the layers in the atmosphere here. You've got columns of air where we've got rain, that's warm air all the way from the surface all the way up. Where we've got the freezing rain, we've got the surface temperatures at 32 degrees or colder than that, but the air above it is just a little bit warmer above freezing, and so all those ice crystals melt, become liquid water, and then when they come back here to the surface, they hit the surface and they freeze, and that creates icing on roadways and on surfaces that are below 32 or at 32 degrees. And then when you get sleet, when you get that shallow warm layer aloft where things melt just a little bit, but then they have time to refreeze before they come to the surface. So you get sleet in that case. Anything less than 32 from the surface all the way up, then you've got snow in that situation. And when it comes to driving on things like this, yeah, you're going to have some spin outs if you're not careful with black ice driving. Remember, if you do hit black ice, if you are out and about driving, the best thing to do is just not be out and about. But if you are driving around and you encounter slippery roads, icy roads, keep your steering wheel straight. Don't hit the brakes and take your foot off the accelerator and let that car naturally slow down on its own. Don't try to help it. Just try to keep your steering under control. Keep the steering wheel straight. You don't want to brake and then take your foot off the accelerator, and that's going to help you avoid spinning out as much as possible on icy roadways here. Let's talk about those winter weather impacts for us here. We've got elevated areas here in the Concho Valley for winter weather impacts, mainly the northern half of the Concho Valley, including Sterling City, Robert Lee, Ballinger, San Angelo, Mertzen, and Eden in that elevated risk. And what that means is that we could see impacts to elevated roadways, think bridges, think overpasses, and also some primary roads could see some icing. I think that's going to be a greater risk up towards Sterling City, up towards Robert Lee, and possibly Ballinger as we go into early Tuesday morning, and then a limited impact for southern portions of the Concho Valley for Crockett County into Ozona, El Dorado, Sonora, Menard, and over towards Brady in that limited area impact where you could see some icing in some areas on some roadways. So just keep that in mind if you are going to be out and about traveling on your Tuesday morning. Another thing that we've got going on is our first freeze and frost for the growing season here in the Concho Valley. So if you have agricultural interest, then this is for you. A hard freeze for places like Sterling City and Robert Lee. A freeze is likely for places like Ozona, Mertzen, San Angelo, Ballinger, and then a frost outside of that area, including El Dorado, Eden, and even outside of Menard. So keep that in mind. If you've got plants or vegetation outside Tuesday morning, it's probably going to be dead if it's not brought in or covered. So keep that in mind that this is probably going to be the end of our growing season here in the Concho Valley. If you need further updates, which you will want to continue to get further updates. We'll be on KSAN tonight at 5, 6, and 10. And you can follow us on social media. I'm meteorologist Aaron Ayers on Facebook, at Aaron AWX on Twitter, and you can follow meteorologist Brittany Lawrence on Facebook. And always, you can get the latest school closings, delays, and updates on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.